Morning, guys. And today is what, Friday morning, January 6th. Looks like our windshield, still need a little bit of work on the windshield, but not bad. Alright, we are at the TA truck stop in Sparks, Nevada, over by Reno. Gonna head out from here and make a local area delivery to US Foods. It's a pretty short distance away. I'm gonna need to document my odometer reading, so I keep a log of it. Get around the skateboard first. Yeah, we're good. We're going to make a right turn out of here and follow that, who's that, Fremont or whoever that is over there, and United now. The exit to here is over there behind the tire shop. Looks like I got a guy walking to his truck here. He's committed to walking behind me, so. Alright, so it's gonna be my first time delivering to this particular location. Been to a number of US Foods before, but first time to the Reno location. It's actually right down the road, very short distance from where a guy I trained lives. We tried to meet up today, but he ended up already last night, whatever, because he drives in the middle of the night. He goes across he drives for ITS, and he runs across Donner Pass to do stuff, and then he comes back across Donner, and usually always ends his days right back here, and sleeps. Always sleeps at home. He seems to be doing really well for himself. He's enjoying what he's doing, and even though he has to chain up a lot, he's, I think that would be a good theme here to start with on this discussion, though, is experience. Years of experience or longevity in the trucking industry doesn't always make you expert at everything there is to know about trucking. There's always an opportunity to learn. It doesn't matter whether the opportunity comes from somebody with more experience, trucking experience, or less trucking experience. So case in point, he chains up a lot. I don't chain up as much. I have chained up before. You guys didn't even watch me on live stream chain up before. But I don't do it very often. It's actually more on the rare side that I do. It's almost 7 years of trucking now. I've only chained up. Dude, that light was green when I entered the intersection. It's kind of screwed up. Anyway, though, yeah, I've only had to chain up maybe 3 or 4 times, something around there. But I know how to do it, and I have some experience with it, but I'm not proficient at it. Like Paul, my trainee and friend, I trained him when I was in the Walmart fleet. He might have even been on the truck with me one of the times that I chained up, because I do remember having to chain up coming across Donner, going from the Sam's Club in Roseville, actually where I'm going to be in, where I also have a delivery today, back over to here to deliver to the Sam's Club here in town. Had to chain up. Well, he chains up regularly. In fact, I was talking to him early yesterday morning, and I was on my way into the area from US 95, and he had to chain. We actually got off the phone so he could chain up, and he had mentioned to me that when he chains up, he doesn't like to be on the phone, and the reason for that is because he wants to be able to listen to. He usually even drives with the door, not a door, but a window open, so he can more easily listen to his more easily listen to his chains to hear if there's any unusual noises like a chain falling off or out of place or something along that line. You know, as many times as he's done it, now I might naturally think, I kind of think about that as well, but it's not like, I guess not at the forefront of my mind though when I do chain up. It's make sure they're on good and tight before you even start moving, and that's about it. Just get moving. But now somebody who's done it a bunch of times like him, you know, you never know. He's maybe had experiences with it wrapping around his axle, falling off completely, or something along that line. I'm gonna need to move right because we're gonna have the Spaghetti Bowl interchange coming up here, as they call it. Locally, they call it the Spaghetti Bowl. Yeah, less than a mile away. Spaghetti Bowl would be where I-80 and US 395 and 580 meet up. Now we're gonna be taking 395 north. I wasn't expecting United to come this way, but I guess he's gonna, let's see which direction he's going. But anyway, Paul, he actually lives off the same exit that I'm going to be exiting at to go to this customer, Golden Valley Road. Okay, yeah, he is getting off here. But anyway, yeah, I trained him. I was getting closer to 2 years of experience by the time I trained him. And so I already had a certain amount of, and I have a lot of OTR experience. He mainly just runs across Donner Pass back and forth on a daily basis. Well, so this guy moved over to be in my way. So there's going to be a lot of things OTR related that I'm going to know a lot better than him because he has very limited OTR experience. Even when I was training him, we weren't really technically doing OTR. We would just go to different customers and then just deadhead right back to Colton, where it was never more than 700 or so miles on a load before we'd be empty and on our way back to Colton or Riverside. He ran OTR for a brief time, you know, still with Sierra England after he got off my truck. But not long after that, he started working for JB Hunt here in town and ended up leaving them and going to ITS. But you know, and all of that experience has been going back and forth across Donner Pass. Chain or no chain, he was putting them on, yeah, if they ever needed. So he's gotten a ton of experience throwing chains, and I have a lot. Yeah, we're comparing he and I, regardless of the years of experience. You know, now he's not much less experienced than me when you look at it that way, but but we diverge more greatly in where our experiences lie. Personally, my experience is a lot more on the OTR side. I have more limited chain throwing experience, and he runs mostly all locally, even though he runs a day cab truck. I mean a sleeper cab truck, and he has a ton more chaining experience, so he's going to have a lot more proficiency at training than I will. And he's going to know a lot more of the little tricks of the trade with chaining than I'm going to know. So, I mean, he can have chains thrown in about 20 minutes, I think, he said, when he's putting them on. And, yeah, it takes me easily over half an hour. You know, I'm trying to get everything out, set up and all that, and trying to get everything just right before I even move, because I make sure they're tight, and I don't use the bungee cords. I found that if you put them on properly, or put them on well, get them wrapped pretty well, and if you get them onto the very last chain link before the cross piece, you know. Then and then you tighten all the cams down. They keep that chain on there really good and tight. That chain's not going to go anywhere if you get them on there to that. If you're able to get it on that last chain link before tightening down the cams, yeah, it'll get on there pretty nice and snug. You won't even need those bungees or spiders or whatever you call them. All right. Yeah, just a couple more exits up the road. Looks like 3 more exits perhaps. So that would be one of those things where don't be afraid to defer to somebody who has more focused experience in a certain area than what you have. And it never fails. There are always drivers who think, I got 25 plus years of experience. There ain't nothing you can teach me or whatever. Okay, well, all of your experience is, let's just say, door swinging, and you've never done a lick of flatbedding, and you get someone with maybe a year or 2 of total trucking experience, but all of it's flatbedding. Which person there do you think would be the better one to talk to about load securement on flatbed loads? Or anything else related to flatbeds? I would ask the flatbed driver, absolutely. I don't care how much experience the other guy has. He doesn't have shit for experience on pulling a flatbed. So why would I talk to him? I want to know what the nuggets of info I can get are going to come from the guy who actually has more experience with that specific thing. Now, we had a driver at JCT once suggest fixing a problem a Qualcomm problem that somebody had by telling them to unplug their Qualcomm unit for 15 minutes and then plug it back in. I'm like, at the time I'd been driving about 5 years. I don't even know where the hell this thing plugs in at. It just, you have to unscrew it, panel on here, and it uses some damn either Allen bolts or the Torx bolts, depending on which unit you have. Back here to even get that part of it off. And the other end of it, I didn't know for the longest time until I was ended up having to get exactly that worked on with my Peterbilt on Golden Valley Road 1 mile away. Yeah, my Peterbilt had, my Qualcomm wasn't working. I didn't realize it was because the shop that had done the work on my truck had unplugged it and never plugged it back in. So I ran paper logs from Fontana over to our terminal in Sapulpa, and then also to not Benson Valley. No, I want Golden Valley. All right, next section. In fact, that white building right there, you see right there just off to the side of the highway here is actually US 3 that we're going to. Anyway, though, it wasn't until I had 5 years of experience and had that issue, and one of our Omnitrax guy at our terminal, his name's Anthony, I'm bullshitting with him, and he's asking me if I was still having the Omnitrax problem. And I go, yeah. So he tells me, all right, go ahead and pull up to Bay 6, and come on up here, and I'll take care of you real quick. He says you don't have to even get out of your truck. So I come up there to the bay. Down, we were hanging out in the smoke area, the brake area, smoke area, whatever you want to call it, that our shop guys at the yard use. And then all he did was plug this big ass cannon plug thing back in where my diagnostic port, in the neighborhood of where right over here by where I got a fuse panel down there as well on the 579. That you just plugged it right back in and it was fine. So that was how I learned exactly how the thing even plugged in. But this guy's suggesting stuff to somebody that's like, I don't even know where that thing plugs in myself, but I got 5 years of experience, and I tend to pay a lot more attention to system layouts and designs and stuff than your average person does. So now we're gonna make a right turn on this very first street here. Outlet. Oh, I know that. Oh, come on. Let me out. Damn it. Ooh, that was close. Yeah, no steer tires kept going straight even though I was turning rights. I'll have to double check that the snowdrift there didn't do any damage when I get parked, but I think I should be okay. But yeah, and I probably there was a chance I was going to need to turn off my traction control system to get unstuck because I was that close to getting stuck there. But anyway, there was a much easier fix that had already been given as a suggestion by both myself and a friend of mine. Just tap the screen. It was the screen was stuck on please wait, and all you had to do to fix it was just tap the screen, or as my other friend said, just hit the home button, and that's all it took. But and it was super simple and easy fix. And this guy with 20 plus years of experience said that to unplug it. I'm like, no. So I let him know, like, dude, you gotta read some of the other comments before you chime in because now you look kind of foolish. I didn't say it that way, but told him, you know, we'd already given him a good fix, and it was a lot easier than what he was suggesting. And he got all butthurt, got mad, and started telling me about how I've been driving for 24 years, whatever. I know what the hell I'm doing, or whatever. It's, you know, like he's not getting enough respect because it's not about that. It's called reading 101. Read the fucking. All right, is this my turn? Let's go a little slower here. Yeah, and it is a bit icy here, so let's use a little bit extra caution here. But I don't want to repeat what happened there in the corner. That was the other thing there too. Doesn't matter how much experience you have, you're gonna make bad judgment calls sometimes. I bet you Larry Miner, who drives for us and works in our safety office, you won't know. You won't come across anybody with more trucking experience than him. Is this guy just parked, or looks like he's just parked out of the way? All right. Alright, he's been driving, Larry Miner's been driving since before Vietnam War, right? 1959, I think he said, or some shit like that, or I know it was right around the time when, close to when Vietnam War started. He's been driving that long. He's got over 10 million miles. He put the miles in miles, and, you know, I'd be willing to bet you anything. He probably makes bad decisions here and there sometimes when it comes to driving. We always get put into difficult situations. I think I'll just go ahead and park up here against the fence around that guy there. I'm going to find our receiving office, which should be right over here, I imagine, by where this one thing is. And yeah, I see it right here to the left. And we'll get checked in. Alright guys, we're going to be docking in right next to this guy who's over here. We're going to be in Dorm 5, which is right behind me and to the left. I'm going to wait on this other guy here to finish docking in first, though. Great. So now he's barely getting out to open his doors now after he's already lined up with the door. Anyway, going back to what I was talking about, though, like Larry Miner was talking about him. Even though I don't know anybody with more trucking experience or more miles of experience as he has, I guarantee you he still makes bad decisions occasionally here and there when he's behind the wheel. Now, he might be a great driver, have an impeccable safety record, but still the fact of the matter is we all make bad decisions occasionally. So, doesn't matter how much experience you have. Sometimes you're going to have a completely different philosophy than a different driver for a different reason, or you know, you might get put in a situation where you just end up making the wrong decision. That's where you're constantly learning. Or not to mention, like, you know, you can have all these years of doing one thing or another, but if you have zero experience doing something else, like let's say sliding a fifth wheel, then all you can really do is, as far as sliding, telling people anything about sliding the fifth wheel is concerned, is what you understand from other people. You can't talk from first-hand experience. Like myself, I've slid a fifth wheel numerous times in real applications, so I know what the effects are on the weights. Driver who's got 20, 30 years of experience but has never slid a fifth wheel before is not going to know that. They only know slide the fifth wheel forward to put weight on the steers, and then move it backward to put it toward the drives, but it doesn't always work that way. This guy just barely hit his air brakes just now. Finesse my way away from that fence so my trailer door doesn't get caught up on it. Great. Yeah, I need to get my tandems away from the... I don't have to go that far out. Yeah, because I got lots of room to work with backward to get right. See, actually, I'm actually pointing a little bit too much toward this other guy. There's a ton of room to work with, though, in front of him, though, so shouldn't be any problem getting into the dock door. There is a straight truck in door 4. I do see someone walking back there. Which direction? He's coming this way, I think. Okay, he's getting in that truck. All right. It's a bit on the slick side. A little bit on the, a little bit tight on this other truck, so I'm gonna go forward just a tad. This ice is making it hard for me to keep the truck moving when I need it to. Hopefully I'm in the... Alright, it's easy enough. Again, some things about trucker etiquette, alright? When I'm backing into a spot, don't go driving past me if because there's a chance I might need to pull forward and fix my setup. This guy drove right past me while I'm backing in. Thankfully, I didn't need to adjust forward, correct forward at all, but he didn't give me the courtesy also of waiting for me to make sure I was lined up enough, because I was too close there. If I was going to have to stop and correct forward, I was going to have to sit there and wait for him to get the hell out of the way. You know, it only takes a few seconds, guys. Make sure, let someone make their adjustment first. Well, if they're in far enough and you're pretty certain that you can get by them without them having to stop and wait for you if they have to correct, all right, so be it. Go ahead. But if you have to... if you're going to possibly cause them to have to wait for you to finish going by so they can finish their setup, it'd be better to just stay put and wait for them to either get further back, get the brakes completely set, or whatever the case might be. Alright? Alright guys, we're all done unloading here. Let me... come on. personal use it, I'll do, this guy's waiting on me to pull out, so let me get, I want to get out of the way first because I think this guy's waiting on my door, so I'm going to get out of the way. Donner Pass, I need to go across because I have another delivery to make in Roseville this morning. Problem is, I found out when I was parked over here at the TA yesterday. When I got there, I was kind of going through all my chains to see what I had on hand. Yeah, I had 3 bags, which I need 3 bags, but problem is all of them are singles. They're the right type of singles for my type of my kind of tires, but California, you need 1 set of doubles and then 2 sets of singles. Need one for, shut up. Need 1 set for the, get this thing turned off so I don't have to listen to it anymore. I need a set of doubles for the 3rd axle, a set of singles for the 2nd axle, and then a set of singles for one of the trailer axles. But, yeah, now I have 3 sets of singles, so I need something a little bit. I'm going to need a 3rd, like either a set of doubles or a sock that works with doubles to get across Donner, or I can always just hang out and wait because although they do have chain controls in effect right now, the weather looks like it's okay right now, and I anticipate they're going to relax the chain restrictions and eventually get rid of them once they once enough of the snow melts off or gets cleared up or plowed or whatever the case might be. So it's one of those cases, by the time I get up there to the spot where I have to chain up, and the amount of time it would take to get chained up, there's a pretty good chance they're going to just end up moving the chain up point further down the road. I've had that happen to me before. I don't really want to deal with that. Last time I did that, I got all my chains on and was, I was just trying to get everything cinched down. All of them were on though, and I just was trying to get everything adjusted right. And then next thing I know, the Caltrans guy is driving by, honking his horn, letting us know that they basically moved the chain control down the road further. And they still had chain controls in effect, but they didn't. They moved the mandatory chain up point to further down the road. So ended up like I'm not going to drive 30 miles with chains on that I don't need on. So I have to get it to the new mandatory chain up point. So I just decided, all right, I'm going to go ahead and there's my tracks from where I ran over that curb there. Thankfully, that's all there was. Anyway, I ended up taking all my chains back off and hanging them back on my rack. Speaking of, I just realized I didn't even think about it, but this truck actually does not even have a chain rack on the over by my catwalk. Now the JCT spec trucks all have chain racks. Now JCT, when it comes to chaining up, they don't make you chain up. If you have chain controls in effect, if you don't want to go through the chain control area, you don't have to. They won't hold it against you. All they'll just do is just reschedule the delivery if needed, or have the customer work you in if possible. I think we'll be okay here though. But I need to get rolling pretty soon across Donner if I'm going to get to the receiver on time. But a combination of detention here, not very much of one, but it was, along with the chain controls, is going to delay that. So it's beyond anybody's control here. Not my control, not JCT's. It's mainly weather and customer related. So not really that big a deal. I'd like to get over there. I do have a pre-plan set up as well. Alright, yeah, we're going to come across there. But, otherwise, I'll just kind of take whatever the weather will actually give me when able. I'll probably do another video of hopefully this is right. Yeah. Probably do another video, a separate video of the delivery in Roseville. That'll be to the Albertsons DC, basically there. All right, so we're just gonna get back on 395 South, and then 80 East back over to the TA. Can't assume these guys are all getting on the freeway. See what I mean? It's, oh, there's a stop sign here. Okay, I didn't realize there was a stop sign until they started slowing down. Then I finally see the back end of the stop sign that they're stopping for. I just got caught up looking at the traffic, not paying any attention to the shape of the sign that was right there on the island. I can't see what the sign says, but obviously the shape of it told me that was a stop sign. I should have noticed that earlier. That's what happens when you're not familiar with the area, though. Alright, so like I said, we'll go back to TA. I could buy socks or something that I can get back across with. I might, yeah. May still do that, I don't know, but come on, car, slide over. There you go. But I don't know, we'll see how things go. Whatever the case, I think we'll call this video a day here, right? And we'll do another one for you guys when we do the Roseville delivery, which may or may not come the same day as this one here. May actually probably do it the following day, so you guys don't get too overwhelmed with new material coming out from me. Alright, appreciate you hanging out, guys. Alright, we'll see you guys in Roseville then, alright? Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you then.